Hey everyone, it's Ben from the Urbstead, and today we have a little bit of a problem. And we've had this problem all along, and that is rats. Lots of rats. Today, we are going to be taking another step in that battle against rats. And I was recently informed by the team who's been helping me with the city to combat our rats that this is a problem. All of this wood is the problem now. The rats have moved their main place of residency from underneath the chicken coop to underneath all these logs. In the midst of one of the routine checkups that the city was doing during their attempt to smoke out the rats, one of them went over and picked up a log to use it, and when he picked up the log, he actually grabbed a rat by its tail. That's disgusting. It doesn't surprise me a whole lot because this is a great safe harbor area for rats. Um, but it's kind of a bummer because this is going to be a lot of work. So today we are going to clean up the logs. This is probably going to be a part one because the process I think is going to be a little bit longer than I can do in just a day. But what I want to do is I want to come up with some sort of system, whether that's concrete blocks with some posts or whatever I come up with, that will elevate all of this wood off the ground at least 10 or 12, 16 inches to discourage the rats from thinking that this is like safe harbor. I'm going to start clearing everything out, and then as I have it cleared out, we'll go through and I'll show you the rat house. Great. Also, keep a watch closely. I'll try to get a good angle here, and you might see some rats just scurry on out while I'm working. It's going to be great. Everything's fine. I think I'm going to do this stacking sort of thing and hopefully get it kind of tall but thin and not take up too much room. Okay, so I was dumb to think that I could just show you after the fact what the ground looks like, because they have already scratched it to an unrecognizable state. So while they're over here scratching away what I wanted to show you before that, this depression was made from a log, but which that depression was not. There was nothing in there. In fact, it was totally underneath a flat piece or a round piece, but not in that orientation, right? So it was across and there was a divot underneath. That was definitely a rat hole. That back there, I believe, was also a rat hole. And you can kind of imagine here, there was a log across here, but again, it did not go down into that depression. That is another rat hole. So we're gonna keep moving here. There's plenty of stuff that I'm pulling out that looks like it had some activity underneath it. So I think we're making headway in the right areas. Where's Wrecker Room? There he is. Ah, we have active growing and active dead rats. Right here, bud. Right here. Yeah, big heavy guy. That's right. Check this out. You're okay, big guy. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about here with I say active burrowing. That is a rat hole. And there's a connecting rat hole right there. So that goes down to at least here, but could also be a whole network of them under these guys. So these ones are going to be a little bit harder to deal with because they're big and flat-ish, kind of round. And these chickens are now chasing my kids for their snacks. You say hi?
Hi.
So,
You say hi.
okay.
Hi.
All right. So let's go ahead and take the logs that we have now. We're going to take them out front and see if we can't use them. And kind of spruce things up a little bit in the Three Sisters garden. So I've been kind of thinking about how we could do like a little bit of a border here. And I think a good way to handle both the issue with having all these logs and the issue of wanting a sort of border is to see how these could look as the border. Now there's probably not enough, and that might mean that we have to get more from back there or more from elsewhere. But what we can do is I can just start here and see what this makes, and there's no cost to me. So this will probably be how I take care of most of these. What will end up happening is I'll need to clean up the rest of that wood that you saw, and then I'll call the city back and tell them that I was able to finish it, and then they'll come back out and reassess. Once they reassess the land, they'll be able to see and more effectively treat for the rats, and hopefully get us one step closer. I think it looks good. Kind of like how it looks. Of course, that's just one side, but the other side then has the sunflowers on it, and well, it's not really easy to get the logs on there without letting the grass be able to grow up, because I don't want to get it too close to the sunflowers. So if anything, if I could finish off one side, I think that'd be really cool. But mostly it's probably just going to be a temporary place for those logs to sit while we finish the rest of the cleanup. We'll see. If I end up not liking it because I have to mow around it and weed whack, they'll probably have to go. But those kind of things where you're choosing to change your mind or change a project or totally backpedal on something and do something a different way, those are kind of par for the course with homesteading. And it's the same thing here on an urban homestead. We don't have a lot of space, and there's not just a place back out in the acreage that we can choose to dump stuff. So there is consequences for everything that you put down, and it's not always negative, but in this case it was a little negative. We ended up chopping that tree, that big one back there, down because there was a limb that fell, and it was really just an issue hanging over both of the houses. And we didn't want to get rid of all the wood. In fact, we thought we would like to keep it for the garden, for burning, for all those things, and we haven't really used up as much as we thought we would. And so the consequence is that we wanted to keep it all, and now we have to find a place to put it, and we have to find a way to deal with it well, on a budget. It's a new day, folks. And after some really long, tough discussion about what I could be doing with these logs, Julia gave me the simplest and most incredible answer of how we can do this for free. And it's this right here. We have these poles that I got from doing a job that are just laying around, and they're 8 feet long. They're steel, stainless, no, galvanized, and they're super thick. Metal is really thick. These poles are extremely strong. And I have some extra cinder blocks laying around. So I'm going to stack these cinder blocks as the pillars, and then I'm going to run 2 sets of 2 of these tubes down the length of them and raise all the logs off the ground. Genius. And so simple. All right, well, that was way easier than I thought it was going to be, and free, which is the best. Okay, so something that looks a little bit like that. Part it down. All right, so this worked out amazingly. I can't believe how simple this was. So I'm going to go ahead and stack the wood here. As you can see, it's actually a little bit more space now than it was before. Kind of ended right about the halfway mark here. So I'm going to lay down all the big stuff, and I'm actually going to do, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do the big items on one side, and I'm going to try to do the chopped firewood on the other side, because we have a large pile of that we just don't go through like we thought we would. Let's go ahead and take care of that, and then we can basically call this project done. I was thinking this was going to be a 2-parter, but there's no need. We can get this all done. Boom, wham bam. Okay, so that's the stack. That's a lot of wood. Like Riker would say, it's big heavy. All right, so now let's take you over here and I'll show you the firewood pile. This is step number 2, revealing the goods. So, a lot of good firewood. I mean, not if you burn it in your house to heat your house, especially since it's been all out in the weather, probably, but still good stuff. Campfires especially. right, and there's the finished product. You can see Dita and I stacked all these logs, right? The heavy ones and the little ones. Here's the heavy ones over here,
Little ones over here.
and the little ones over here. That's right. Thank you guys for coming by the Urbstead today. I'm Ben, this is Dita, and this has been a really awesome example of just waiting a little bit on a problem, thinking it through, giving it a little time, and then sometimes the solution just comes up to you. Sometimes someone makes a simple statement and they say, hey, why don't you do this? And it works.
Yep.
Mommy's pretty great. So anyways, that's not always possible, but that's not always possible, but sometimes it is. And in this case, it was, and it was free, which is great. A double win. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet ya.
And leave a comment down below if you've ever done a project like this, or just let me know what your thoughts are on this video. Okay, well, what do you say?
Thank you.
Thank you. And can you say grow on?
Watermelon.
Can you say grow on?
Watermelon.
Try saying it.
Watermelon.
Do you want to finish the video for me?
Yeah.
Okay, then you need to look at the camera and say thank you and grow on. Try it.
Watermelon.
Well, I tried. Right, Dita?
Watermelon.
She's in full watermelon mode, folks. Thank you and grow on.
Watermelon.
Thanks for coming.
Watermelon.
Oh my gosh.